Thank you, Chairman of CLGF, and also I'd like to acknowledge the Prime Minister for Tuvalu, Deputy Prime Minister of Solomon Islands, and the ministers, Governor for NCD, and now, of course, our staff from PLGF and also CLGF and the mayors, officials. The Vice Minister responsible for assisting the Minister and our Deputy Prime Minister. I'm actually privileged to be in this government at this time in Papua New Guinea because the action has actually started. We know before that we had the organic law in 1995, and at that time the reform, the purpose of the reform and the organic law in 1995 in Papua New Guinea was basically to bring the government closer to the people. That was in 1995. But we all knew, I was actually, before coming into politics, I was the provincial administrator for one of the provinces for 9 years, and I've been very vocal in terms of making sure that that reality of the reform being stated that the main thrust of the reform was to bring the government closer to the people. But I think from 1995 to 2012, the government was still far away from the people. So in reality, it was not really happening. And when we came in to form this government in 2012, we made sure that that shift in terms of resources took place. And I think, as from the Prime Minister's speech this morning, you've already heard that Papua New Guinea has 22 provinces, excluding NCD and Autonomous Region of Bougainville, including both of them. And we have 89 districts. We have 319 local level governments, about 60 or so urban local urban councils, and also we have, out of that, we have, within those 319 local governments, we have 6,186 wards for a population of about 7 million, spread across 486,000 square miles of land mass. Most of the remote districts, the LLGs are so remote, you can only reach them by plane, and most of the airstrips are still closed. Those are the realities of this country. I think the issue that we have actually been working on in this government is to see that the funds that are going down to the districts, to the provinces, district, and the LLGs really trickle down to where the people are. So over the last 2 years, we've worked through the leadership of the Prime Minister and the Cabinet that the funds have shifted down. Now we still have an issue with, we have one of the panelists here who's actually a partner in service delivery from under OSAID support, the SPSN. And I think this is an issue that we're trying to deal with in terms of making sure that that funding that is going down is well spent, and it's actually administered by the actual leaders of the local government. As we see today, from my experience so far in the last 2 years, even though the money or funds that go down to the province, district, and further down, we still have this control by myself, like as a national member. The national members in our structure of Papua New Guinea is that we still play the chairmanship role in distributing or basically approving those funding. So I think that's an issue for us to see that we somehow leave the distribution part of it in terms of the funds allocation to the heads of the local governments themselves, and to see that that direction. But then the issue comes where whether the local governments have the capacity. And in this country, in Papua New Guinea, that's been the biggest question of whether the district, or sorry, the local governments have the full capacity to make sure that the funding that is going down actually reaches the people. So in this scenario, in Papua New Guinea scenario, most of the rural LLGs right now, and for the urban ones also, we have capacity problems in terms of the public service machinery. Now, over the years, we have also left the funding of the positions of the urban local governments to themselves to fund out of the revenue. But then we found out that they couldn't fund them. So I think about 3 positions each or so of the civil service are now funded by the Public Service Commission. So they're assisting the local governments to fund those positions instead of the local governments themselves funding those positions. So that's a way forward to assist them in terms of the public service administration. Also, in order to avoid misuse and especially the abuse of public funds, so that the officers, if they are under the public service, can be dealt with according to the public service disciplinary process. So those are some of the things that we've done. Also, the biggest decision for this government was to look at funding, as the Prime Minister speaks this morning, is to put the ward members on payroll. As I've said, we have 6,186 wards. Now currently we have well over 45,000 public servants, just teachers, about 45 or 46,000 teachers. On top of that, we have the public servants, so adding another 6,186 to our public service payroll, it's going to go up. But I think the government has made a commitment to pay them. Our issue now is, what are we paying the ward members for? And that's where we come in terms of making sure that we have a clear-cut, well-defined assessment or criteria where we hold the ward members accountable for the responsibilities they have as elected members, also together with the ward development committees. I think the next decision that is now being floated is to also remunerate or actually give them some kind of allowance to the ward development committee. Because under the ward development committee, you have the chairman who's the ward member, but at the same time you have the ward development committee members who represent the church, the women, the youth, the education sector, law and order, law and justice. So those make up the ward development committee. The other issue that we are looking at is for some districts, and especially for my district, we further given that out of the half a million going down to each of the 319 LLGs every year, we further, given another 20,000 directly to the wards. Now, what we're trying to see is that the issue that we are now trying to work around is to see, and I think that's an issue for all of us as a region and for the LLG functions, is to come up with the challenge where the population is increasing, because on average in Papua New Guinea we have one ward has an average population of, originally supposed to be 500 to 1,000. That's the range of the population for one ward. Now, since the 1995 reform in 1995, up to now, those populations have grown. So it's no longer 500 and 1,000. You find some wards right now have gone up to almost 2,000. 2,000 and more, well over 2,000 wards or even 3,000 wards, meaning that we'll have to increase the number of wards and come so that we can if, like for example, if we gave 20,000 to one ward, in that criteria that we used before, by now the population has doubled or tripled. So the challenge for us now is to advise the government and come up with the arrangement where how do we go about if we, because I think from the political point of view, it's the, what will I say, everything else, politics takes precedence. over anything else. Meaning that if the national government, through the Prime Minister and through the government, has made a decision that it will give $500,000 to all the wards, the challenge now, or the real picture right now is 500,000 or $500,000 to each ward, each LLG, the 319 ward LLGs. You have some of the LLGs with a very small population. You have some LLGs with a very, very big population. You have urban LLGs who have so much responsibility in terms of providing the basic services like sanitation, the garbage management, waste control, all this. That $500,000 is not enough. So we must provide that advice backwards to the, basically as technical people, to advise the government to come up with a way and a system where what is really, how much is really needed, what is the real cost of running and delivering a service out of an urban LLG or out of a rural LLG which is so remote, or it's on a further island somewhere out there. Mind you, you got to pay for the transport. If you wanted to build a small, let's say a double classroom for a school, if you gave that responsibility to a LLG, a remote LLG, you will have to take in the cost of the transport. So our dilemma right now is, because I think, having been in politics for almost 2 years now, over 2 years, we cannot really change the way politics is going. So I think what we do is, these are things that I want to put forward to us so that we can discuss, and the forum can talk about how do we make that allocation to the resources that the national government is giving down, spread out to the population that we serve. I think I'll stop here, and these are the issues that's been discussed within the ministry and ours, so that we can provide. But our ward members are going to be remunerated, and I think we are now talking about a new grant that will give it down to the wards as well. So I think we get the support from the mayor and, from the governor and others. Thank you.